So this session is really about how can you transform training into business results, because really by utilizing data analytics and business intelligence tools, the kind of impact that you can make on business decisions is phenomenal. And the focus of this session is really to see how do you make that impact through training. And to present this session, we have with us Talia, who is a product specialist at Time to Know, and Deepika, who is a program manager at Time to Know. Time to Know is the next generation educational technology solutions company, which reshapes the way organizations deliver training to achieve better results. Without much further ado, let me invite Talia to take the stage and take this forward with Deepika. Over to you, Talia.
Thank you very much. I hope everyone can hear me. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us today. I'm very pleased to meet you. My name is Talia Gabay. I would like to share my screen and show you a little bit about Time to Know. But just to give you background about myself, I've been working at Time to Know for 10 years now. Originally, I come from the world of education. I was a teacher for many, many years. So let me talk to you a little bit about Time to Know. So just let me put this into presentation mode for a second. Okay, so what do we do? Basically, we'd like to look at the needs of HR companies today and the HR departments within your organization. And we'd like to look at the type of training challenges that you're actually facing. One of the main training challenges that you have has to do with creating a digital learning environment for your employees in order to improve knowledge transfer within your organization, and also to improve the actual functioning of your organization and the results. We're therefore talking about timely and cost-effective training. How can you make the best of the trainers that you have, whether they're internal employees or external training organizations? And how can you make sure that your learners or your employees are getting the best training in the shortest possible time whilst keeping everything extremely effective? The other thing we're seeing in the modern era is a challenge that is related to skills. Skills are something which, again, in the modern workplace, we expect the workplace to supply or to train the employees with the necessary skills. Very often, employees are coming into the workforce without the exact necessary skills that are needed for their jobs, or that don't exactly match their job descriptions. And we expect internal training to be done in order to get that perfected. The next challenge we have in the modern era has to do with geography. Our modern learners are not necessarily situated near the office. They're not necessarily interested in coming for face-to-face training. Organizations need to cross borders, boundaries, just as we are today for international training. You very often expect training to be done by external sources, much as I do a lot of training in other countries, and we do that virtually. So HR is expected to entertain training from all over the world, and learners are expected to be able to train from different parts of the world as well. And last but not least, we're talking about effectivity, and this is one of the strong points of Time to Know Echo. We're a very effective training platform, and our effectiveness is created by fulfilling the value proposition you can see at the moment on the board, and I will very, very shortly be going into the live demo. We focus on learners' achievements by supplying the learner with ongoing evaluation and assessments or practice activities which are interactive, and I'll be showing it to you in just a second. Time to Know empowers the instructor. So Time to Know Echo will supply the instructor with live data whilst training sessions are going on, and they're going on again in the digital era from a distance, anytime, any place, on numerous devices. People like micro-learning nowadays. The instructor needs to know what's going on. Often the training that I see in organizations is blended training, so that the instructor will be able, through the data on the system, to perfect the face-to-face section of the training as well. And in addition, we empower instructors to perfect the content. So someone might have created content for you, you're putting it out there for your learners to interact with. They're engaged, they are learning, you are monitoring the effectiveness of the learning, and you can constantly be in control of whether the content is good, whether the instruction is good, whether the learners are active, participating, and how well exactly they're doing. We put a great stress on social learning. We believe that in the digital era now that learning has become distanced from, like when we were kids, you had a person in the room with you when you were learning. So that's changed now in the modern world. We've left the social aspect of learning very much part of our Time to Know Echo platform, so that learners can communicate with each other, with their peers, and also with the instructor in an ongoing manner. And therefore, you eliminate the concept of being lonely or feeling disconnected from your peers and your learning group. The recommendations and data-driven insights, which I will show you in just a second, are critical to improve or to make sure that engagement is active, that the learners are actively involved in the learning process, and to make recommendations for improved learning processes. So I'll show you that in just a second. The improved return on training is something that is critical today in HR organizations. So how much money am I spending on training, and what is my return on investment for the company itself? And last but not least is simplicity. It's absolutely critical that all these different devices, all these different platforms, the different learning environments that we expect our employees or our learners to take part in are simple. Time to Know Echo is intuitive and simple to use. So I would like to, again, this is a brief, our PowerPoint will be up for you to look at and download after this presentation. Unless you have specific questions just now, I'd like to move to the live demo. So I'm just going to stop sharing for a second and share my platform in just a second with you. Okay, so just let me know that you can see the platform, everything's working well. Okay, so what I'm showing you just at the moment is the instructor's view of Time to Know Echo. You can see that I've logged into Echo. I can see my different learning groups or classes or courses. It would depend on, which specific organization we're talking about. I've got a course on cybersecurity, a course on skills training, and a course called Training Group A. And as I click down into this, you will see that I immediately have a toolbar available to me at the top of my page. The toolbar, of course, has search buttons, but it also has my communication. So we spoke about social learning. I can run a contextual discussion here, and I have data on the reports, which I will show you in a second, and personal chats with my learners. So I'm going to go into all of this in just a second. You can see here a variety of courses or units that I've put up into the system. And time allowing, I'm only going to show you one, but I'm happy to show you more, offline. And here you can see that we have scheduled time limitations for certain parts of the content. I'm taking you through two sample contents. So the first is an ebook. The second is a practice activity. Our content runs on mobile as well, so it's very, very friendly for the users. We believe that learning takes place literally around the globe. It's taking place anytime, anywhere, on any device, and this is something that we support at Time to Know. So what you're looking at the moment is our classic ebook. The ebook is basically a concept of uploading existing content so that your company is not going through extra expenses in creating the content. Time to Know Echo has a digital editing tool, which comes part and parcel with Echo. You're looking at the moment as the player, just to clarify. So this was all created on Time to Know Editor. We've integrated for sound pedagogy all the different elements of what this particular learning unit should entail are integrated into one natural flow. So the learners are going to be watching a movie. They're then going to be reading materials. They can get, of course, auditory support if they need it, and they will immediately start interacting with the content. Now, this is our real added value. The learners are interacting with the content. As they are learning, they are getting immediate feedback to if they've got the question right or wrong, and they can get guided feedback as well. And the purpose here is to create the reporting system for the instructor and for the learner. So the content itself will support multisensory learning, and various different pedagogical interactions. The data here is what's critical. So this is live data for the instructor. The learner has a slightly different view. And you can see here my content coverage, time on task, how many participants I have. And here I can start manipulating the data. So I'm going to look at one particular course, and I've screened I've sorted the learners, the list of participants or learners in my group from weakest to strongest. I can see their names, content coverage, time on task, reset, add a chat, whatever. And here I can drill down further so that in this image or in this view, I can actually see exactly how well Bradley is doing, and I can filter by correct, incorrect answers. I can actually see his materials, and of course I can intervene in a timely manner. So I can immediately get in touch with Bradley through the system and say, you know, Bradley, you need to review again, you need to go back to the previous content, or perhaps I can assign more suitable content to your needs. There's another view to this data, and that is from the content perspective. So when I create content and run it through the system, I need to understand how effectively it is being learned by the participants. And that is what I can see on this report. So if I look at this particular question, question 3 on page 9, I can see that of the 10 participants, 6 got the question partially incorrect, which is quite high. There might be something wrong with the question. I can just click on it and delve down and see the answers and try to make assumptions about what went wrong. In this case, I might think that perhaps the question doesn't make sense, or there's a lack of a flow, and therefore the question is wrong. And of course, I can move from content item to one content item to another, and from learner to learner. The other thing I'd like to show you are our push notifications to the instructor. Again, these are very timely. They appear immediately for the instructor according to predefined criteria that you decide on. And in this case, I can see that these 2 learners have been struggling with this particular content item compared to another content item. And I get a lot of data about this. I'd like to show you a different type of report. I'm looking now at low success rate for one particular learner. And again, over time, obviously this is a demo, so it's a little extreme, but for a real learner, you will have maybe 4 or 5 content items. And I, as an instructor, can see that this learner has been deteriorating over time. Now, the important thing for me is to immediately intervene. So I can immediately get in touch with Lucy, and I can tell Lucy, either I can assign different content, or I can invite her to a webinar, or I can phone her, email her, chat with her, anything. And this will then lower the dropout rates in my course, which again, for any organization, dropout rates are expensive. They're a terrible waste of time and money for everyone. We have a number of different types of reports. Is there a question?
There's a question.
Okay, 1 second. There's a question here that I need to answer.
Can we upload a media file that we want to talk about while the instructor is actually using a PDF file in the teaching group? I mean, can a learner too actively participate?
Okay, so learners, so the question, I'm not sure everyone can see this. We're probably going to have to relate to the questions more at the end of our meeting. Basically, there's the capability for instructors and for learners to upload content into the system. Therefore, as you pointed out, whoever's asking, the learners are active learners in the system. So I just like to show you another couple of content items before my time runs out, because I'm sure that I have a hard stop. This is another content item. It's a practice activity. And you can see, I'm just showing it to you to see the variety of different types of interactions that we have available in the system. So the first one is a fill in the gaps activity that I've already shown you. And this is a picture choice. Again, it would be used As you can see, we're using here for cybersecurity. You can use it in any type of content. We also have polling. We have matrix, choice matrices, videos. Any type of content can actually be uploaded into the Time to Know ecosystem and used in order to create engaging digital learning for our learners. So I'd like to show you a different type of content. And again, I'm showing you this because a lot of organizations have existing content. So you're not going to start creating all of your content from scratch. You can upload existing content. In this case, I'm just showing you a video. And the nice thing in Time to Know Echo is that I can create a layer of interactions on top of existing content. It can be a SCORM file, PowerPoint presentation, any other type of file that you want to upload into the system. You run it through the Time to Know editor, the Echo editor, and you add this lovely interactive layer on top, and I'm showing it to you again just to give you a glimpse. You can add open questions, fill in the gap activities, there are videos, polling options, really any type of interaction is available here. And the important thing for us is that we're creating the data flow for our reports and for notifications, and of course for our discussions. So the discussions are very important in today's era where there's a lot of peer teaching going on, peer assistance. Learners can interact with each other, they can interact live with the instructor, and therefore lower the dropout rates and the sense of frustration that comes from being not a part of a homogenic group that is studying together as we used to. So I'm just a little worried about the time. Do you have any questions at this stage? I'm happy to show you the content editor if we have another couple of minutes. So if we're good with that, is that a possibility?
So Tala, we can take a couple of minutes. I do have a couple of questions in here, but I think we can see how do we take them. Otherwise, I'll request the audience to visit your stall in the exhibit hall and they can get an access there. So please go ahead, we can share a couple of minutes.
All right, so I'm going to be very, very quick about this. And again, I'm really just showing you the tip of an iceberg. We have huge capabilities in the system, but of course, time doesn't allow everything. So I've logged into the system now as a content editor. Oh, I'm sorry. Made a mistake there. 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to log into this platform, which is where I should have been, as an editor. And I'm really, really just going to show you for 1 second how we do this. It's very quick and easy to use, and we can take any discussions, of course, offline. So this is our content editor. You simply hover over the plus, and you can create either uploaded content or create from scratch or assessment and evaluation. This is how it's done. And here we are, we're ready to go. This is how you create content. Here are the choices of interactions and media assets you can use. And you literally just type it in and you're good to go. So that's the product demo in 1 minute. I'm happy to get some questions now. And I think I'll just stop sharing. That will probably be easier for everyone.
Thanks, Talia. But as I'm seeing, Deepika has been really, really active and she's been responding to all the questions that have come in already. So
Okay.
the 2 minutes over time anyway. So what I will request the audience is, I'm sure all of you may have a lot of questions and may want to know a little bit more details about what Talia has presented to us. So I would really encourage you all to go into the exhibit hall and find the Time to Know stall there. Both Talia, Deepika, and the entire team is there to help you with all the queries that you may have. So you can pose the question there. Specifically Shalini and Gaurang, you, because I could see that you had quite a lot of questions that you posted. So please visit the Time to Know stall in the exhibit hall, and I'm sure the team will be happy to help you with the queries. Thank you so much, Talia and
Thank you
Deepika,
so much
for
for
this demo.
joining. I appreciate it that everyone took the time to participate in this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And for our viewers, before we close this session, this is really the time, I'm sure all of you have got that this is really the time when I share the secret code from this session for the leaderboard contest. The code for this session is TIMEKNOW5. I will just spell it out so that you know it, you get it correctly. Hashtag TIMEKNOW5, the numeral 5. So hashtag TIMEKNOW5 is the secret code. So key that in and get your points for your leaderboard contest. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will now break and we will be back with the next session. During the break, why don't you join us in the networking zone? Because I could see a lot of conversations going on. There are quite a few questions that are coming in. So let's use this opportunity to learn from our peers, talk to them, what are they doing in different parts of the world, and some of the challenges that you're facing on your in your organization. So see you in the networking break now. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.